Hello, humans. It is the friendly neighborhood goddess, Eartha Vega, and I am here today with my beautiful, amazing, intuitive friend, Wendy Lou.
Hello.
Her channel is Parenting Through Ascension, so you may be watching this on my channel or you might be watching it on Wendy's channel. And today we're going to talk about how to own your own truth.
Woo!
So, yeah.
Just a tiny little topic, not a big one at all.
Yeah, we are going to tell you everything about this because we, obviously know everything about this. So
we are so smart.
We're so smart. But what happened, I guess, briefly, is why are we making this video? Is we were both really triggered by some recent events that have taken place in the Lightworker community, and so we both kind of feel like, this is a way for us to do this healing. So if you are a starseed and a light worker, one of the ways that you can heal is by owning your own truth and talking about it, right? So that's what we're going to do today.
Without shame and without feeling like, without self-judgment, right? Like being able to just share it without, welcoming any judgment in. Yeah, it's a big deal, and it's really coming strong right now for light workers especially, I think. And so we just wanted to get our perspective. This is all our perspective. If it doesn't resonate with you, there's the door. I mean, and you don't have to listen to us. But, anything I ever say or Kate ever says, it's only just from our own lens, right? So you have your own lens, you have your own discernment. If this resonates, great. If not, we couldn't care less, to be honest with you. We love you. See you on the flip side.
Right. So I guess, one of the things that we, that kind of brought up some feelings about this topic for us is, I guess, the word truth itself. When people use the word truth, you really need to be careful about the fact that your truth is different than everyone else's truth.
Yeah.
You could have a very similar truth, and that's great. When you find people that have a similar truth of you, it's great. It's, Wendy and I share many truths.
Those are your tribe members, right? Those are your people. But even with your people, you're not going to share exactly the same. But yeah, things might resonate with you. Great. That's how you know you're following the breadcrumbs. But then sometimes the breadcrumbs abruptly stop. You're like, where do I go now? But yeah, we were talking about this yesterday is, somebody had told me once, and it made total sense. They said, how many different ways are there to ascend? And of course, it was like in a class, and everybody was like, it was like crickets, right? Everybody was like, shit, I didn't study for this pop quiz. And the answer was as many people as there are on the planet. So if there are 7 billion right now, we think, we didn't look it up, but we think there's 7 billion. That's how many different ways there are to ascend. So the letting go of judgment, while that's super important, I think we also agree that it can be a byproduct of just working on owning your own truth.
Yes.
Then that judgment just falls away. But we're having issue too with the Lightworker community, especially, is kind of exploding right now with judging each other and how we're doing things and and I even found myself in that situation when I was triggered by this event. I was then judging that person because there was messages being put out that were being labeled as truth about a specific journey, and a journey that Kate and I both happen to be on in our own lives. And because this person is not on that journey or does not believe to be on that journey, our journey was negated as being not real, as being not truth. And this was a person we both really liked and trusted and resonated with until this moment, right? It's like,
right.
Okay, but it's a good thing. Like, we both get it. It's healing stuff in us and forcing us to see our own. But that's the whole point is we can focus on letting go of judgment, but I really think it's more, that's kind of a negative flip. But the flip side would be to just work on owning your own truth. And then you're not going to care what other people think. You know, you're going to care less and less as time goes on. So
yeah, because when I got triggered, I did, at first, of course, because I am a human, I decided I was going to play the victim and be like, how dare he say blah, 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 but then to bring it back to yourself, right? That's what we need to do. It's the inner journey. It's what is happening with me. Why am I feeling like he is attacking me? And it comes down to, I need to own my own truth, right? I do feel crazy at times. I do feel silly and childish.
Like we're making
a journey, and I do at times tell myself it's not happening. I do that. That's my ego, right? Like trying to me, this isn't happening. And it's happening. So
and it happened, and there's no undoing it, right? Like when you're on a specific journey, there is always a pivotal moment, and it doesn't matter what your journey is, but there's always kind of a pivotal moment that we call the beginning of our awakening, right? And that moment can never be undone. And so whatever your gateway is to awakening, that will, in a way, define you for the rest of your journey. That's kind of the focus that you'll take. And there's a reason for that. So, because that's your path. And that's how you find other people who are on the same journey too. That's how you find your people and your tribe. So it's super important to not negate that. And again, but we all go through that. Like, oh, I'm just making it all up. I'm being ridiculous, and we try to just move on and pretend it's not there. Well, it's going to slap you in the face every time you do that, usually harder than before. And you think, okay, it's gone. I don't feel it today. I'm going to keep moving forward. The next day it'll knock you on your ass. So you just have to make sure you're always in kind of acceptance of it, which is part of owning your own truth, right? Like this is your truth. It's nobody else's, and only you can own it. Nobody can do it for you.
Right. Yeah, no one can do it for you. Like you can seek validation. Like I think that,
there's nothing wrong with that. We all do that.
Seeking external validation, there's nothing wrong with that.
We're human people. We're in human suits.
Right. But don't make that be the only thing that you're doing. Try to validate stuff for yourself too, right? You can't just say, XYZ person says this, so that's my truth now. Like, what is your truth, right? Look and listen to yourself, and then you can find it. So.
Yeah, because ultimately what might happen is that person who's been validating you all of a sudden is not.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn how to, and it's going to trigger you. And so you have to, the important thing, I think one of the most important things we want to get across is realize that it's your shit to heal when these things trigger you. And we know that. We've been doing this long enough that we know that that's the deal. But that doesn't mean that we did anything wrong by getting angry, right? By getting triggered. That's how we know. That's the indication that there's something there to heal. But we did kind of want to talk about too, like I want to talk about a little bit at least, how I do feel like I want to put the message out there to light workers, like, and if this resonates, again, great. If not, just leave it on the front doorstep. But I feel like as light workers, we do have a responsibility. And there are people like, Kate and I are still building our subscribership. Yes, our channels are young and we're noobs, but there are people out there who have hundreds of thousands of followers who are doing videos about journeys that are not their own and calling it the truth about this journey when it's not their journey. And they've got all these followers who completely believe everything they say, which again is another, right? That's another thing to heal is you do come to a place where you realize that you don't need gurus, that you are your own guru.
Right.
But don't beat yourself up if you're still in that phase where you need a guru. That's part of the process where we need mentors, we need teachers, and we'll always need each other to keep us moving forward. And we're going to be each other's teachers and mentors, but it's okay to need a guru. The problem is you have to keep your discernment. You got to keep your bullshit meter on. And if
Yeah.
something they're saying is not resonating, there's a gal who I love. I can't think of her name now, but there's a gal who I love to listen to because she always says, if this does not fit into your box, don't try to make it. If
Right.
this does not resonate with you, it's not for you. It's not a message for. Yeah. So don't try to force everything people you trust say into your journey, because it's not always going to fit. And so I really want light workers to take it a little more seriously, their responsibility, but at the same time, they're triggering people who need to be triggered in that aspect. It's such a crazy, like we could go around and around and around, right, all day long on the hamster wheel about that. Like, okay, they shouldn't be doing this, but it triggered us to heal this and to make this video, and that's a good thing. So we have to be in gratitude. So does that mean that he should keep doing it? I hope not. Like, I don't want to continue doing that. So it's hard. It's hard to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I could do an example of something now. It just came up to me is, you know, as my followers know, I go to the river a lot, and I get triggered, and I think I've actually been triggered on a video before by the amount of litter at the river, and the amount of.
You have. I remember that
one. Yeah, full diapers and just, you know, I mean, literally like, wow. And it just, but, you know, I have to look inside myself and be like, you know, why does this upset me so much, you know, and try to heal that aspect of me. But then at the same time, they people shouldn't be
right. Like, please stop doing that. But thank you for the trigger.
Yeah.
For me to up level. I appreciate that. But please stop doing that. Yes, exactly. That is a perfect analogy for this too. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like yes, it's great triggers and we're all growing together and we're kind of pulling each other along bit by bit, right? But at the same time, we also have to learn to stop doing these things because we're not going to need triggers forever and ever. Right. I mean, you know, eventually nobody's going to care. So what would be the point? But yeah, please stop. God, please stop littering. Every time I go to my river, Kate and I both have a river. Every time I go to my river, and I forget every time, I don't know why, but because you don't want to walk with a garbage bag, I guess. But I think, God, I should bring a garbage bag with me because it's bad.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Like I have a picture, actually, we have the Canadian geese come through and they build nests for a while here. And there was one, I looked down and it was down in these trees right at the river's edge. And there was a huge nest. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I see they had actually incorporated it into their nest, an empty 2-liter bottle of a Coke bottle. And they actually made it part of the nest. And I was like, good for you. But I wanted to climb down there and pull it out.
Yeah. And be like,
it made me so mad. I'm like, yeah, well, at least they're utilizing it, but still.
Yeah.
So great. The geese like it. It's part of their nest, but stop littering.
Yeah. See, somebody would come to you and be like, oh, well, they can use it. So
they like it. Look at them. They love it. Yeah, it is. That is a great analogy. So please stop littering. And please, if you have followers, if you resonate with the term light worker, we do have a responsibility. The best advice I think anybody can give is just share your own truth and make sure you're saying, this is my truth. This is my perspective. Don't try to I think every light worker should be saying in all of our videos, any message we put out there to people listening, don't try to force this as resonating with you. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. It's okay.
Yeah. And, you know, be really, really careful around like very sensitive triggers. I mean, you know if you know this community at all, you know, there are certain things that people say that trigger a bunch of people. Like, I mean, let's try to think of some, right? Like talking about Donald Trump is one of the
because really the Lightworker community very divided on that, right? There's very strong emotions on both sides, even in the Lightworker community about that. And then there's the people in the middle that I'm trying to float in that area, but yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and be careful too, even with your channeled messages, because you may be a channel, but you still have a human filter, right? So just try to make sure to be really, really careful and really ask yourself, is this my truth? And if it is your truth and you need to share it because that's what you're feeling like you need to do, then make sure that the way that you're sharing it is not in a combative way, or something that is not your truth, like
any kind of
video that said the truth about Donald Trump or the truth about alien abduction or like that. And
videos that have that.
And then start talking about my awakening journey, which has nothing to do with Donald Trump or alien abduction. And so then I'm not even telling you my own truth. I'm not being truthful about my own truth, I guess. Right?
Right. Oh, that's true. And I've noticed people doing that too. Like the title ultimately then is not what they're talking about, or it's very misleading.
Yeah.
And it pulls you in, and then you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah. Because why, right? Why do we do that? Because we do want our messages to get out. And we're told by, 3D people all the time, oh, you have to do, in order to market your products, in order to, be an effective YouTube person, you need to do XYZ and put, all this clickbait stuff on your videos.
Right.
And we get told that by people who are not light workers.
Right. Business coaches.
Business people. And then we just go, oh my gosh, like, yes, okay, yeah, like I need to do that because I want to get my message out. And your message is going to find who needs to find it. It really is.
Whether it's one person or 1,000, and and there has to be gratitude for the one versus, I only got 18 likes. You got 18 likes. That's amazing. You reached 18 people. Yeah. That's a lot of people. If you think of the butterfly effect, that is a crap ton of people.
Right.
So that's huge. I mean, I think my highest viewership, I can't even remember what video it was. It might've been a video. We were talking about this yesterday. I did a video called Why Our Guides Lie to Us.
Oh, right.
I immediately lost 6 subscribers without even watching it. Watch the video, for God's sake. But I got like 72 views, and I am thrilled by that. I don't have a big followership yet, and that's fine. And that's not why I started the channel. I started the channel because I had all this truth inside of me, and I didn't know how to get it out.
Yeah.
And so, and it was like an aha for me. I was at a conference, literally like a disclosure conference, because my awakening came through more of that kind of thing, like, oh, the government is lying to us, and there are aliens, and they're and medications for the most part are bad for you, and all that was kind of my gateway, is realizing all of that stuff. And so I was sitting at this conference, and it just like hit me, like, I need to start a YouTube channel. And it wasn't for I'll have 1 million followers someday and I'll be famous. None of that entered my brain. It was all, I have to get this out of me, and I don't know how else to do it.
Yeah.
And public speaking is just kind of one of my things anyway. So I'm very comfortable. I always tell people, give me a microphone and a stage and you will not be able to get me off. Get me off of there.
Yeah. But, samesies. Although I was very nervous about starting this, because
me too, yeah.
My truth is not everyone's truth.
Right, it's not everybody's cup of tea.
So,
and you're vulnerable.
Yeah, that like they're gonna be luckily I have like 25 subscribers, and cat in my whoever, but if I were to get a bunch of people and somebody's going to start making negative comments or whatever, I just have to know, I really want to know the way that that's not going to affect me when somebody starts making negative comments to me. The way it's not going to affect me is by me being sure that I am speaking my truth.
Absolutely. And then you'll just be able to, and honestly, you'll be able to, a lot of people, I know people who immediately will like remove the comment and like block the person. Honestly, I just like the comment and move on.
Right.
Because there's no negative energy there. You're, you're whatever. You're not, you're not feeding into what they're trying to do. And we have to be aware too, the 3D aspect of it is there are trolls. The only negative comments I've ever gotten weren't even subscribers.
Yeah.
They had subscribers. I don't know them. And I did one on chemtrails.
Mm.
And actually what I was doing, the video was about how I actually believed that the chemtrails now are cleaning up the air. Like they've gotten rid of, and this was a while ago, and I don't even know, I'm not really kind of in that world anymore. I really have kind of shifted more into the energy world. But I had done this video, and this troll came in and said, oh, you guys are so entertaining, you people who think chemtrails are a thing and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, thank you. Thank you so much. And then I never saw him again. Because when you feed into that, the negative energy, then you're doing exactly what they want you to do.
Yep.
I mean, that's a classic childhood lesson, right? Like don't feed into like a bully, right? When you encounter a bully, I don't know many parents who tell their kids to try to aggravate a bully. Don't try to keep, rubbing them the wrong way. Yeah. Don't poke the bear. Don't keep poking the bear. You want to just walk away. Yeah. I mean, take the high road, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, like one of my gurus, one of my teachers says, I meet everything with love, right? My mission on earth is love. And so I meet everything with love. And whatever anybody wants to throw at me, I just give them love back.
Yes.
It's love.
It's not always easy.
No, it's not.
Simple. And you know what I do a lot of times too is you can buy those window markers at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and write it on your bathroom mirror. So you can see it every time you go into the bathroom. You see, I will meet everything with love today, and it reminds you. It keeps you in that heart space.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. I have I am free on my
I'm recording.
Every day I look at my I am free picture on my wall. I think,
oh my gosh, I have one too. It says, let go and just be free. I have that little painting.
That
little painting back there with the feather on it.
Oh yeah, I see it. Nice.
That is actually Angela Kraft Meldal painted those.
Oh, yay. She's also artist. Very talented. What's her Life Purpose Pathfinder?
Life Purpose Pathfinders, yeah. And she's an amazing artist, but that's kind of a side thing for her now. But
us light workers, we have so many talents.
I know, right? We really do. And I feel like even the more ones where we're creating with our hands, that really is that mission, I think, as a primary mission are really for the truly special light workers, because I think we all have kind of that talent in one way or another, but for a lot of us it ends up being just more of a feeding our soul thing versus what we share, how we express our love. But yeah, it's the true like artists and the people who create. I've got friends on Facebook who create these amazing beautiful pieces of art that I could never do. So
yeah
we're all doing it our own way. We're way off track, but that's okay.
Yeah. Do we have anything? Let's see. Let me look at my stuff here. Here's another thing that we were going to talk about and that we should address is that we're not alone here. And so finding your own truth doesn't mean that you are on this journey alone. You are not here alone.
Even though it may feel like a lonely.
When you are alone, you have so many guides around you right now.
Gosh.
You're never alone, ever. Just get used to it. And
we can feel lonely, but it doesn't mean that we're alone.
Yeah. And so I saw something that really resonated with me that said, radical self-reliance is a trauma response. So if you think you don't need anyone else, you don't need other humans, you don't need to feel love in any form, you don't love anybody, you might not romantically have attraction to someone, but you're surrounded by love.
And unconditional love. Like, yeah, there are people who are really kind of, they're in a place right now where they are focusing on the self-love, right? Which is great. But I feel like there are a lot of people who maybe are getting a little off track and thinking that that's the only thing, that's the only love is self-love.
Yeah.
So yeah, technically, if we go high enough in density, yes, we're all one. Love yourself and you're loving everybody, but we're still in physical bodies. And that is limiting us. It's going to limit us until we no longer need a body.
Yeah.
And so we do need each other. We need the only people who came here to raise the vibe of the planet and not need any connection are the Tibetan monks in the caves who are achieving the rainbow body and raising the vibration of the whole planet. That was their mission. There is no one else who came here to be alone like that. You have connections, and you're meant to have connections, and you're meant to love other people.
Yes.
And yeah, the self-love is super important, but yeah, we're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of that lately. People are like, oh, well, I have somebody telling me, a former client telling me, well, there's only unconditional love with your children. There's no other form of unconditional love. And I was like, okay, this is your truth right now. And I respect that. And I send you compassion. And in my head, I'm going, that is effed up.
Yeah. Well, why is it a trauma response? Right. So get right to that, because like,
it's a defense mechanism, I think.
Why do you think that? And I've thought that a million times, a million trillion.
True, yeah. Because it would be easier, right? Wouldn't it be so much easier to just shut everybody else out?
Yeah, all I need to do is love myself and everything will turn out rosy. Perfect. I love myself.
Great. Let's shove our heads in that sand pit. There for a while. But it's a closed-minded way of seeing things, but it's also it's a defense mechanism. It's
because you've been hurt. You've been hurt.
Because you've been hurt.
And it
just
seems people.
Right. And especially if you've been hurt by a romantic partner that you had a very, very intense, deep, because we've been conditioned to believe we have to have a partner in this life. And maybe you don't, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have love.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not going to have love in your life and have best friends and have, friends who are like family, or family who you love unconditionally. There are a lot of people who are just trying to shut everybody out and live in this box of, I only have to love myself. Great, love yourself, but you cannot fulfill any kind of mission, like I said, unless you're the Tibetan monk. If you're not Tibetan nor a monk by this point, then you're not on that journey.
If you are watching this video.
Likely you're not a Tibetan monk. So yeah, we'll get to the rainbow body in a couple lives from now. We don't need to be doing that like what they're doing, but they have a really big mission to keep the vibe high, to keep us from destroying ourselves, right? Basically, to help with that. But I can't think of anybody else who came here literally to just not have any connection at all. Self-love is super important and definitely part of the process, but the ultimate goal is union.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unity consciousness. I have my friend Laura Eisenhower. If you don't know who she is, she's President Eisenhower's great granddaughter. I have had the honor of meeting her a few times and seeing her speak, and she's amazing. And she said in a speech one time, she said, unity consciousness is the immune system of the planet. And we were all just blown away. And the gal who was hosting this, the gal who was hosting the conference, she actually stopped her and said, wait, what did you just say? And she's like, unity consciousness is the immune system of the planet. And the hostess said, that's fucking beautiful. That is amazing. And that's so true. The whole point is to remember that we are one, not to shut everybody else out and try to be this. That's ego. Trying to stay in your individualness is ego. And the whole point of this is shedding the individuality, shedding the ego, and connecting with everybody. So we just really wanted to get that out there because people we love are doing this, and we're sending compassion and we're sending love, and we're, their journey, respecting their journey. But I think it's also important to spread the awareness. Again, our perspective doesn't have to be yours, that this is a defense mechanism and you will eventually have to break down those walls again and come out of that box.
Yeah.
So hide in there as long as you need.
And give yourself time to heal and give yourself understanding, of course, right? Like love yourself. If you're trying to love yourself, love all of the pieces of yourself, even that says, I have to be alone. Because
true.
So is hurting. And so give it love and say, you know what? No, I don't, eventually you will come to an understanding that you can love other people. It's okay.
And that it's so important. It's the whole, like, yes, we came here for a mission, right? And we hear so many times as light workers, we actually don't have to do a thing. Just being here is raising the vibration, because we are more high vibrational beings. We have already been light workers. We've already been through this ascension process. We don't need to be here. We volunteered and chose to come to help. And so just physically being here is raising the vibration. You can do that. You can sit, you can sit in a cave and not have any connections and do that. Great. But the connection is really the point. And the connection is the experience. And I have a friend who says it's all about the adventure. So we could come and do our mission and be really bored and not make any connections. And we'll help, but we're not going to grow our soul at all doing that. We're just going to kind of be the same.
Yeah. Well, and think about how you do receive love, right? Like I receive love by affirming that I love myself, and by looking in the mirror and telling myself how gorgeous I am. And, I have many ways of doing that.
You're gorgeous, baby.
But I think more powerful for me is helping other people, or even smiling at another person, or, just giving love to other people increases my love.
Yep, absolutely. And raises our vibe like nothing else. Like I can be processing a lot of my own stuff. And, I'm just kind of really getting into my spiritual practice in the last 6 months, maybe really even the last year. And originally I thought, oh, well, I'm having a bad day, I have to cancel. And then I had somebody tell me, you doing the session may have made you feel better. And I was like, So now I can see that even if I'm in like a pit, as long as I do my, I have the, my prep work that I do, I center and I ground, and I just set an intention that I'm going to show up for the client 100%. This is for them. And I want to bring whatever is in their highest good. And I'm telling you, every single time I feel amazing after.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Right. Like that is the point, you guys. That's the point. Self-love, again, definitely part of the process, and huge, because we've never been taught that, right? We've never been, and we've been taught the opposite so long that it was literally almost part of our DNA at this point. So we're rewriting our DNA. That's not easy.
No.
It's not easy. You're not going to be able to figure it out overnight. Give yourself some grace and some compassion, and know that, what were we saying yesterday? Trust, and what else were like the two biggest things that we have to learn. Trust and what was the other thing?
And letting go, surrender.
Yeah. Are the two biggest and hardest things for humans to learn.
Yes. Yeah.
So
we got a big lesson in surrendering this year, because everybody.
Seriously, 2020.
No more plans, no more planning.
Right.
Right.
No more trips. No more. I mean, we're still, seriously, guys. You can still travel. Just look up the state, what they're doing and all that stuff. Kate and I just went to Utah and did some hiking, and it was fabulous. You're not going to go to New York and go see a Broadway show right now, but honestly, I think a lot of this, what's going on right now, is telling us to get out in nature. Nothing is keeping you from getting out in nature. Nothing. Yeah. Go there.
Go there.
So forget the Broadway shows, forget the mega malls, and go hike.
Yeah.
In a forest. And
a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are.
I know. It's great.
Which is great. Yeah. Yeah. Because I can feel it. I feel when I'm at my river and stuff, I feel the presence of many more human souls.
Yes.
Right.
So, right. Good. Even though there's litter.
They're leaving their trash there still, but
But, if they're loving being out in nature at the same time, they're getting there, right? It's a process, baby steps.
Yes.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Think of all, and that was one of the things that I was trying to think about when I was thinking about how angry I was. I was like, they're out here. What do you want? I consider my mission to be to connect people to nature, right? Like that is what I try to do. And so they're connecting to nature. They're just
They are. Yeah.
At least they're not in their house, right?
So we have to stop judging other people's journeys. We just have to allow and accept every journey as it is for each person. Again, 7 billion different journeys.
Yes.
So just try to be, and the way to, I really do think the best way to heal this, to let this fall away, is to just work on owning your own truth. And that is going to help other people. That's not going to be, that I don't think that you can be out there in any way, especially on social media, sharing your truth and not connect to people.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just an automatic cherry on the cake, right? Like that's what we want, is the connection.
Yes. Yeah.
This is the point, people. And yes, you have to reconnect with yourself first, because you have to know who you are. You have to know your truth. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you have to know your truth. You have to be honest about what your truth is. That's A.
Right. Because then you'll connect to people who have similar truths, and it gets you to the next step and the next step and the next step. And again, you're going to realize that not one other person on the planet has the exact same truth. It just isn't a thing, because we each have, the physical body has shaped our journeys in specific ways. The physical body lends to that, right? It's part of that. And none of us have the same exact physical body. So snowflakes, right? There are no two snowflakes alike. So yeah, I think like that was one of the big things we wanted to get across, was just to accept and allow everyone's journey. And so Kate and I are working on accepting and allowing this person's journey who triggered us by
learning to accept and allow our own journey.
Yes, thank you.
To unfold and yeah.
Yeah. And remember too, the fact that if somebody doesn't resonate with you, that is huge. That means you really are becoming aware of your own truth. Yeah. So let that happen when people don't resonate with you. Again, don't try to force it just because they've always resonated with you in the past. You're going to, I think one of the biggest lessons that we're learning is we have to let go of expectation of who is going to be part of our lives. Yeah. And we just can't predict how long someone's going to be in our life anymore. And we have to let them travel their own path just as much as we have to follow our own. And so if they no longer resonate, I'm not saying unsubscribe to everybody, but find somebody who does resonate then. If you're still in that place where you're seeking out validation and gurus, which honestly, I'm not even out of that place yet, right? I mean, I'm my own guru, but validation is huge, and confirmation and connection. That's how we find the connection.
Yeah. Our guides give us validation because they understand that we need it.
Yeah, through synchronicity, through the numbers, through just animals. I mean, whatever is synchronicity to you is a sign from your guides that you're doing it.
Yeah, my feathers that I find.
Feathers, oh my gosh. I tend to find pennies and nickels.
Right.
Yeah. A lot on my walks, and the feathers as well. But yeah, the pennies and the nickels are big for me. And so, pennies from heaven. Which is what? Abundance, abundance is
right. Yes.
Abundance is mine. And I used to say abundance is coming. Abundance is here.
Here. Yes. Yeah.
It's here. I just have to claim it as mine.
Yeah.
So I hope we weren't all over the place, but I think we hit everything we wanted to hit.
Yeah. Hopefully this video resonates with you. If it did, you know what to do. We're not going to tell you 1,000 times, but
you found your way to YouTube. You know what you're supposed to do.
That's right. We know how this thing works.
Yeah, but thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching, God love you. Watching the whole thing. We actually do this almost every day, except usually we're on different platforms. But
right.
we're chatting every day about this stuff. And
And if you do like Wendy and I bantering with each other, then please let us know, because we could do more of them.
We'll do more of this. We do. We love to chat, and we'll just record all of our conversations. And
Maybe not all of them.
maybe not all.
I don't know how truth ready I am for that.
We're not quite ready for that raw, vulnerable truth yet, but we'll get there. Yeah. So hopefully this resonated, and like, subscribe, share.
Yes. Okay. Have a wonderful, amazing day, humans, wherever you are on your earth plane and on your journey to your own truth.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.